Hello and welcome back, everyone. This is SG Siwi with another Wings of Liberty cast. This is still from the Hellokitty replay pack released on TeamLiquid.net, featuring a whole bunch of pro players. He or she is in fact a Grandmasters player in Heart of the Swarm, and we are going to see a hell of a lot of good games. Very excited. Going to see PvPs, PvZs, PvTs, all sorts of new units, and as I said before, some great pro players. The first cast, if you did not catch it, was in fact with Hellokitty versus TSL Ragnarok, who is now on the team LGIM with other players such as MVP and Ness T. Losira, and the list goes on and on and on. But today, we are going to have, in fact, another pro player. But before I spoil it, let's get into the game here. In the top right spawning position, we are going to have as our red Protoss player, Fnaticharstrem. And in the bottom left, we are going to have the owner of the replay pack, her or himself, Hellokitty. PvP. What are we going to see? We'll be interested. I feel like a lot of PvP, for the most part, has in fact gone to the wayside as far as pretty much focusing on Stargate, which I don't mind after watching 2 years of Wings of Liberty. You know, basically just seeing Robo play, and as we can see Kitty pointing out, it's pretty much gotten to be Phoenix, Oracle, Robo play, Twilight Tech. We do not see too much Twilight Tech anymore until later on in the game. You just don't open with it. It's kind of the meta at the moment, mostly due to the new units and the new abilities to the old units in the Stargate. People just want to experiment. It's the beta. We are here for fun. So, let's have it. Fnaticharstrem saying that he does in fact do a 1-gate expand every game. Not sure if he's trying to mind game his opponent, but Hellokitty is saying, how about I Robo 4-gate you? And 3-gate follow-up. Easy, he says. So PvP, what are we going to be expecting? I am looking for some sick Stargate play, a whole bunch of Phoenix with some small Oracle harass, maybe even get to see the infamous ranged Phoenix. You never know. Startail number 1 GM Imba. Very good point coming out actually from Fnaticharstrem. PvP now, as it is Stargate focused, you could metagame the crap out of your opponent. Just go for Templar Tech, get a whole bunch of High Templar, and feedback the shit out of every single unit on the field for your opponent, as Oracles now do have energy, as well as Phoenix. So really the only thing that you would be in trouble against is, in fact, the new Void Ray, but you get out enough Stalkers to deal with that. Should be good. YOLO coming out from Fnaticharstrem. Do see it looks like it's going to just be a small push, but he's going to pretty much crush this. no questions asked, and is quite ahead of Kitty so far. Nice force field trapping the Zealot. Poor Zealot is in fact going to die, and with the Mothership core there, doesn't look like Kitty's going to be able to hardly do anything. Just poke away at this Nexus real quick. Do in fact though see a proxy pylon, and Stargate play coming out, gonna try and take her chances, his chances, whatever it is. Robo facility on the way, as well as 2 more gates. Arsum probably really doesn't care, as his Nexus is not taking any damage at all. Sentry, in fact, is going to drop down a force field. No. So this will be interesting to see. Does Hearthstone lose this Nexus? Because that could put him quite substantially far behind. Now the Zealot's going to get picked off as well. Nice Photon Overcharge, though, coming down, but I'm not sure that it's going to be enough, to be honest. It does do a ton of damage, but if Hearthstone loses his Nexus, which in fact he just barely does. Oh my gosh, that is a huge blow, as now the Nexus is coming up for Kitty. These new Void Rays, in fact, are crazy stupid good against all armored units. They do extra damage. We do see Oracle Harass coming down as well, and 3 kills already. This is what we were talking about. This, watch how, I mean, they just melt. These workers just absolutely melt. Once it's out of energy, peace. We'll see you later. Then you just kind of, yep, you hover 1 or 2 of them right here, wait until the army moves out, go back in, kill off a whole bunch more probes. As we can see, 4 workers already killed. The Nexus is now going to be delayed, and it is going to be up for Kitty. So some very good aggression, kind of taking the metagame that she is aware of and using it against her opponent, or his opponent. I do apologize, I am not quite sure the gender of someone named Hellokitty. I do not want to come off as any sort of discriminatory, as Scarlet is in fact one of my favorite players, and Jesus, she is a boss. Stargate not really being utilized. Oh, there we go, another Void Ray, and just to give you guys an idea, Prismatic Alignment is this new ability down here. It has a cooldown of 60 seconds. It realigns the Void Ray's Prismatic Beam to gain +6 damage versus armored units for 20 seconds. That is huge in an engagement, like absolutely huge. That is a ton more damage. As we can see, versus armored already does 10, so it will jump up to 16 damage a second, I believe. No, its weapon speed is 0.5, so 8 damage a second. Still, quite a lot. Quite a lot. That means it takes 10 seconds to rip through one of these stalkers, which is not that long, especially when you start getting multiple ones in there. Envision thrown down by the Oracle. Very, very, very cool. This is in fact another very good unit. It basically allows the Oracle to just detect any sort of cloaked, burrowed units within a general proximity. I'm not sure exactly what the range is on that, though. I have not seen it in any of the patch notes, so second base is quite better saturated for Kitty than Hearthstone, but a 3rd Nexus is coming down quite quickly. We are going to see this Oracle just try and figure out what's going on. More than likely going to try and pick off some more probes. Does in fact spot this 3rd Nexi. And I think that's going to signal a move out for Kitty. She is, or he, they are, we'll just go with they. How about that? They are, in fact, 20 supply ahead right now, and now with this warp in even farther ahead. Hearthstone, though, getting Zealot legs, making an Archon, which are very good at dealing with any sort of air play, because air units can clump up. There is no air collision, which I've always found kind of silly, to be honest, as you're going to tell me those big goofy broodlords aren't going to run into each other? Come on. Anyways, proxy pylons coming down all over the place. We got a Oracle here for scouting. Would love to see this Oracle just kind of like zip up and sort of try and jump right into one of these mineral lines, and it does in fact look like they are aware, but with this Mama ship here, Great force fields coming down, really making sure that the army can't get in here. And now, would like to see a mass recall. Yes, that is sick play coming out of Kitty. Mass recall, another Nexus goes down. And man, they are playing lights out right now, as you must do versus such a high-level opponent. Even causing the mothership to waste a whole bunch of energy, 100 in fact, on photon overcharge. And again, we're going to see the third Nexus up before the third Nexus of Hearthstone. And this means that the economy is just going to be better. As we can see, it's just a little bit better now, but once this third Nexus kicks in, let me tell you what, folks. Tons of damage will happen. Does look like we have a Templar in the mineral line, just waiting for any sort of... Oh, feedback does go down, so now the Oracle is useless. That's never good. Hallucinated Phoenix in here. +1 weapons coming down for both players, as well as +1 air weapons for Kitty. Very cool. I do like to see this sort of heavy zealot spend your gas on sentries and Void Rays, as Void Rays now do a ton of damage to pretty much all Protoss units. As we can see, Stalkers armored. Sentries are not armored as well. Usually we'll see Robo play, so you'll have to deal with things like Colossus and Immortals, which are armored, but all buildings are armored, so that does mean that, you know, these Oracles and Void Rays can do quite a bit of damage, especially when we're talking about, like, dive bombing in with the Mothership Core. Snipe off this Nexus, mass recall, get out of there, save all your units just like Area Kitty did a little bit ago. We do see this observing zealot, more than likely just going to meet his terrible, terrible fate. And destroyed. Poor guy. He was just out there for ire. Do we see Storm? Storm has not been researched. Photon overcharge coming down a little preemptively, not gonna lie, on that third base. Would more than likely just see the just wait. Dark Shrine coming down, has been loving this in their games. Really a powerful tool though, if you can just get up into a position where there's not any sort of detection, photon cannons, whatever it may be. I mean, if we look in the main base, there's really nothing besides this one photon cannon. You can pretty much just do a ton of damage to all of these structures, as well as there's only one over here. Pretty sizable force, though, from Kitty. We're going to take a look at the army supply, and it does look like a lot more being spent. So this typically does say that Kitty does have the bigger force. These DTs are in fact coming up in here though, and not quite sure what add detection there, to be honest. Maybe it was all from the cannon? Huh. Oh no. Is there an observer over top of that army? No, there's not, so I'm quite confused. But anyways, huge battle coming down, Storms going down, ripping through that force, and getting clumped up quite badly is Kitty. Not a very good engagement so far. As we can see, already lost a ton of units. These charge lots will be able to, in fact, engage quite cost effectively. Going to try and do a little loop around here. But Archons are not armored. So these Void Rays are pretty much going to suck it up. Kitty taking a ton of losses here. This Zealot Archon force just freaking plowing through her forces. Very unfortunate. And yeah, now down 80 supply. 2 Colossi on the way, but man, that is not going to be a saving grace. TTs do get a few worker kills, I'm sure, but not a terrible amount. No, in fact, only 1. Not good. Not a good situation for Kitty at the moment. Income is in her, or their favor, but this is going to be rough. Colossus are coming out. Pretty broke, though. Did just trade a hell of a lot of army. We do see this DT finally getting found out by the Observer. And it does look like Hearthstone is just going to push across the map. Don't see a Mothership Core anywhere. In fact, there is not one out for Kitty, and that means that Photon Overcharge will not be able to be utilized. Very bad. Pretty aggressive pylon placements coming out from Hearthstone. Does look like he is aware that he more than likely has this in the bag. Look at the crazy beefy units out of Hearthstone. So many Archons, so many charge lots, just going to be engaging right up this choke and saying, come at me. These do not have any sort of range as well. +3 for Hearthstone, and even with these Colossi, I'm just not sure that that's going to be enough DPS, to be honest. That fourth is going to fall, but that's okay because they will still be on an equal amount of bases. Nice engagement coming out of here. Hearthstone not paying attention and going to lose quite a bit of valuable units such as these Archons. No, in fact, another huge weapon. Thermal Lance has now been started. That should have been started quite some time ago. These Colossus could be the saving grace. If you get up to a critical mass of Colossi, and now we do see 6, they do a crap load of DPS so fast, especially with choke points like this. Should be able to engage this quite cost effectively. We shall see though. Slowly losing gateways, and that is never a good thing. Does look like he's just going to bounce right up into the natural as well now, as this army does have to go all the way around, and no, this is not good for Hearthstone. Another Colossus is going to be popping out, and more than likely just destroyed right away. Poor Colossi, oh no. And now there are units all over the place for Hearthstone. We will see a fairly big engagement here though. These Colossi doing so much damage. So we can see tons of just racking up the kills, but is it going to be enough? There's a ton of charge lots in the main of Kitty. Supplies have in fact evened out quite substantially though, so it does look like these Colossus are paying dividends for Kitty. And if she can just get them up here, yes, and it does look like she will. Now these DTs taking out these Zealots quite quickly. Not a lot of probes up here, really, to be honest, to kill. And now Hearthstone, in fact, going into the old 5 Void Rays switch. Holy Lord, where are the other Stargates? 2 up in the main, and 3 down here at the third. So this is going to really crush this Colossi, of course. As I said before, they are armored, but Archon's coming out, so they should be able to deal with these Void Rays pretty effectively, but there's going to be quite a lot of them. Now the 4th base is up. We can take a look at the income tab. Hellokitty has in fact fallen behind. Tons of chrono to be used. Not a lot of minerals to chrono any sort of gateways or anything like that out. Quite a lot of Void Rays though. So far, gonna need to see some more Archons, more Stalkers. +3 will finish up, so that is good. Equal footing will in fact be happening, and they're gonna need to hit before these Void Rays reach a huge ball, and it does look like they are already getting to that point. But in fact, they do fall quite quickly to these Archons. Oh my gosh, these Archons just shredding through these poor Void Rays, and along with the support from the Stalker, these Zealot. Oh my gosh, and Hearthstone actually has to call the GG. That was a crazy PvP back and forth. Great game, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed. That was an awesome PvP. Great pro player. Also a GM in HOTS with Kitty. Hearthstone was just getting mined out. Was more than likely going to lose this 4th due to all of this Colossi and a crazy number of blank Stalkers as well. Kitty just hitting a really nice timing there, making sure that there weren't a crazy amount of Void Rays out. So we saw +1 was going to finish up, as well as shields for them, and even more Void Rays. just a really, really, really crazy good game back and forth. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please do leave a comment. Let me know how the cast was, if you enjoyed it. If it was absolutely terrible, that is fine as well. Just need some feedback so I can know what to improve upon. Thank you guys for watching. This has been another Sentinel Gaming Siwi cast. Please check me out at any of the links to your left, and have a great one.